Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching, and listening. This is going to be the May 2022 reading for the zodiac sign of Libra. As always, my readings are very intuitive, so I will provide you any intuitive messages that I receive, as well as the meaning of the tarot cards. I do recommend you check out your sun, moon, and rising just to get a full picture of everything that's going on for you this month. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. When you subscribe, that helps me greatly, and also you'll be notified when I post future videos. With that being said, let's go and jump in and get started. In column number 1, we're going to take a look at what's wrapping up and coming to a close, so last few weeks or month. Column number 2, we're going to take a general look at May. We're going to do a money column, a love column, and in the 5th and final column, we're going to do a message from our future self or spirit guides. We're also going to do 3 yes or no questions, a crystal of the month, and a healing note for you. But let's pull a summary card here for our first column, which is again what's wrapping up and coming to a close. We have the card revision. So likely you had to make a revision to something that you had planned the last few weeks, but it could be more significant too. It could be a revision to something that you do on a day-to-day basis. But let's take a look and see what messages we have coming through here. The first card we have is the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles, well, anytime we have an Ace card, it's a card of newness. The Ace of Pentacles, though, specifically, typically pertains to a new job, raise, promotion, investment, some sort of new income. So likely some new money or new job for many of you, Libra. The next card that we have is the King of Wands. The King of Wands is a very bold card, very powerful card. It's a card of courage too, so some of you definitely could have had to use some courage as you go into this new job opportunity. The King of Wands is also a card of leadership though, so some of you very well could have been moving into a leadership role. Then at the bottom here we have the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is typically a card of not very good relationships. This would be like bully, theft, violence, abuse. So again, typically not a very healthy relationship. So in terms of revision, there could have been a revision to your job or finances or your job role, or potentially this not very good friendship. But let's take a look and see if we can clarify any of these messages here. The first card that we have is the Hermit card. The Hermit card is a card of going within for clarity. It's being on a quest for personal truth. What I'm getting from this is that this new job will feel a lot more fulfilling for you. You kind of had to go within to make sure you're getting what you want, and you may not have been getting what you wanted from work previously or your financial situation. But again, this seems to be putting you more on the path that you're supposed to be on, Libra, which is always good. The next card that we have is the World card. The World card is a card of completion. If you see here, it's like the world has gone full circle. This is a card, again, of completing a goal or lesson. It could also be a travel card. Some of you could be moving into a leadership position, but some of you could also be moving out of a leadership position with this world. So this could be your old job ending, but again, this could be you're leaving a leadership position or going into a leadership position. The next card that we have is the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups, again, anytime we have an Ace card, is a card of newness. You have 2 new cards in this column this go around, Libra. With the Ace of Cups, this is typically a new baby, new relationship, proposal, marriage. I feel like for some of you, you could be finding out that you're pregnant, or you could have just had a baby, but for some of you too, this is an indicator of like a relationship ending and a new relationship beginning. So especially for you, those of you that had that Five of Swords, not very healthy relationship, this would be an indicator of a new healthy relationship on the horizon for you. Now let's take a look at our next column, which is General May. We have the card Influence. I always like to see this card. It's a good reminder, Libra, of how much influence you do have. But let's see what messages we have coming through here. The first card is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is a very confident and self-assured person. We kind of talked about in the last column that you had to kind of lead yourself through this. But with the Queen of Wands, again, it's about being confident, being self-assured. So likely you will need to just be reassuring yourself. I mean, you have to be confident in the things that you're doing this month, Libra. I want to say it's not even like fake it till you make it energy, but just know your capabilities, and like don't downplay or speak down to yourself in any way. The next card that we have is the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is a card of nostalgia. It can also be gifts or reunion. So you see one person is giving the other person a cup with flour in it. So you could be getting an unexpected gift, or again, a reunion could be coming up for you too. The next card we have is the Page of Swords. I feel like I've seen the Page of Swords so much this month, but I'm going to give you the same kind of caution warning I always give everybody else, Libra. The Page of Swords is a very curious card. It's a card of gossip, like spies or prying eyes, or it could be truth coming out. So you could be finding the truth out on something, which is typically good. But when I see this card, I usually tell people to avoid the water cooler talk or avoid the drama or the gossip, because usually it's not serving them the best, especially when we see the Page of Swords. Perhaps that could be the influence too, is like the things that you say are very impactful. So we always want to be thoughtful about the things that we're saying as well. But let's clarify. The first clarifying card we have is the Death card. The Death card doesn't actually mean death, but it does indicate a big change or an ending or some sort of transformation. And again, that's on top of the Queen of Wands, which is a card of being confident and a card of being self-assured. So I feel like this is an ending time of you being not so confident and entering into a period where you're very confident and self-assured, which is something wonderful that we should all aspire to do, Libra. The next card that we have is the Seven of Swords. Similar to the Five of Swords that we had earlier, the Seven of Swords is typically not the best relationship. So this is like theft, betrayal, dishonesty, or like an abrupt ending to a relationship. For those of you that are having that reunion, likely it's with somebody that maybe wasn't very good, that you didn't have the best relationship with. So do be cautious of those reunions as they come forward, but hopefully you'll just get a surprise gift instead and we can skip over the reunion part. The next card that we have is the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is a card also of gifts. So we do have two cards saying that you're going to get gifts this month. So that's pretty neat. Definitely be on the lookout for those unexpected gifts. That's what that fourth cup floating in is there. But this can also be a card of feeling not so fulfilled or a feeling of apathy. Again, I would definitely stay away from the gossip, stay away from the water cooler talk. I feel like it feels good in the moment, but it doesn't actually feel good. So avoid that gossip or drama when you can, Libra. Now let's take a look at our next column, which is is anything related to money. So think job, career, finances, businesses you run, investments you have. Again, anything that you associate with money. The first card that we have is the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is a very romantic card typically, but it does have a meaning in the money column as well. So when we see the Knight of Cups, this is like that Prince or Princess Charming type energy, knight in shining armor. Very romantic, very proposal-like. But the interesting thing with the Knight of Cups is this could be like a business proposal, or sometimes this comes in the shape of a new coworker or a new boss or a new employee that you hire. So this could be, like I said, business proposal type energy, or this could be a new business relationship for you. Either way, though, it's going to be very appealing, very much so what you need, even like that knight in shining armor vibe, even as it relates to work. Then the next card that we have is the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is waiting for results or having to make a choice. In this case, it feels like you are waiting. You could potentially be doing some travel for work too with the globe here. But it feels like there's something you're waiting on at work. Possibly that's that new hire or that person that you needed, or that new business proposal. Maybe you've been waiting for that. The next card that we have is the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is a card of rivalry, challenges, obstacles. But I always tell people this is like small bumps in the road. These people are fighting with swords. They're fighting with wands. So I would say that there could be some little things that don't go exactly your way this month for work. by no means huge issues or anything of that sort, but again, there could be kind of small bumps in the road as we move forward. But let's see what we've got going on. The first clarifying card we have is the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is a card of like worry or anxiety. Especially for those of you that are getting a new boss, I feel like you're very anxious or very worried about this new person that's coming in. But again, it's very much so knight in shining armor type energy. It's going to be very, very good. But again, I feel like some of you are worried about this business proposal or worried about this new business relationship. Hopefully seeing that Nine of Cups card, though, you can put some of that worry to the side. The next card that we have is the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is a card of low feelings. It's feeling like almost like you're at rock bottom. If you look at the sky, it's very dark. We have a person laid down flat and then they have a bunch of swords stuck into them. I feel like some of you are like burnt out or really bummed out, I guess, waiting for whatever this is. Or perhaps you're having to travel and you're just really not feeling the travel. But this too shall pass, so hang in there, Libra. Again, nothing major, no need to be having these low feelings, but I do see for some of you that you are either unhappy about the wait or possibly unhappy about work travel too. The next card that we have is the Devil card. The Devil card is a card of greed, envy, materialism, obsession. What I'm going to say about this is to not focus too much attention to any of these Five of Wands types moments. Like this could be somebody having an off day and that's how you end up butting heads. Not a big deal. I wouldn't let it get to you. Don't obsess or like focus too much energy on any of these small bumps in the road, because in the grand scheme of things, they just aren't going to matter, Libra. Now let's take a look at our next column, which is anything related to love. So think family, friends, relationship, children. Again, anything that makes us think of love. The first card that we have is the Magician card. The Magician card is a very focused card. It's a card of turning your visions into reality. It's also a card of inspired action. So if you are looking for a like go for it type message as it relates, this is your go for it type message, because again, this is inspired action. But with the Magician, you have the Pentacle, the Cup, the Sword, the Wand, the Infinity sign there. You can literally have whatever you want. So whatever relationship or whatever you want your love life to look like or whatever you want your family to look like, you can create that for yourself, Libra, which is really neat. But again, if you're like on the edge of with something as it relates to love and need the push, that's the go do it card. The next card that we have is the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is a card of self-defense, feeling like you have to defend yourself against others. So whether, for those of you that are in a relationship, I feel like some of you could be in the early stage of a relationship where you're still having to like defend past relationships, or you feel like there could be competition with exes or something of that sort. We're going to clarify this card, but I feel like it's not major, but again, these are definitely feelings that you're feeling. Some of you could be like having to defend why you're not in a relationship or why you are in a relationship too. Then at the bottom here, we have the Empress card. The Empress card is a really good card no matter where we have it in the reading. It's a card of creation. It's a card of abundance. Again, whatever relationship you want to create, you have the ability to do that, definitely with the Empress card. This is also a card of pregnancy and fertility and good parenting. So for those of you that are a parent, you're doing a fabulous job. For those of you hoping to grow your family, this is a really good card for you as well. Clarifying this column here and seeing what we get. The first card we have is the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is about making a decision. And again, with the Magician, I was saying if you need this as like your motivation to go and do it, or if you're looking for a sign, take this as your sign. But again, you have to make the decision to go and take whatever action or pursue whatever you want. So do realize that the ball is in your court. The next card that we have is the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is a card of waiting oftentimes. I feel like for some of you, you are waiting for this to pass, which isn't a bad thing. Because again, I feel like for those of you that are feeling this, likely you're in a new relationship and like maybe you're still worried about exes, or again, you're having to defend it. But I do think that this will pass. It will take a little bit of time to pass, but those feelings with the Seven of Wands will clear up there. The next card that we have is the Ace of Swords. Again, anytime we have an ace card, it is a card of newness. In the case of the Ace of Swords, this is typically new ideas or new mental clarity. I think for some of you, it could be new baby, new fertility news. But this is like, again, saying you can create whatever you want, especially with this mental clarity. You're clear on what you want. Once you're clear on what you want, you can create whatever you want, Libra. Overall, looking good. Now let's move into our next column, which is a message from our future self or spirit guides. So something to carry into the month of May with you. We have the card Listen. Listen's always good. Sometimes some of us are better listeners, some of us are better talkers. I would say going into May though, do make sure you listen. We had like kind of a truth or gossipy card to come through. So of course be careful listening. Always, always, always. But let's see what messages we have here. The first card we have is the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is very self-sufficient and very honest. So a couple different things here. Self-sufficiency is a good thing to have. Regardless, I feel like whether you're with somebody or not with somebody, or if you have great friend support, great family support, self-sufficiency is huge. So do make sure you're doing for yourself this month, Libra. But the other message here with honesty. So what I'm going to tell you is make sure you listen first, but then answer honestly. But do let whoever's talking say what they need to say this month, but then you should be honest in your response to whatever you have been listening to. The next card that we have is the Six of Pentacles. This is a card of giving or receiving help. It's a very generous card. Again, I feel like you're going to be doing for you a lot this month, Libra. But that doesn't mean that you may be helping somebody, though, is what's kind of coming through here. I will say with this card, too, like, listen to what other people need. Somebody might not come forward and directly ask you for help, but they might imply that they need help from you this month, Libra. And then last but not least, we have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is oftentimes a new love interest. So nice, interesting card tucked in here at the bottom. But especially if you're going into a new relationship, listening is important. Let's clarify though and see what other messages we can get in this final column here. So on top of the Queen of Swords, we have the Strength card. The Strength card is a card of self-love, unconditional love, self-respect. And again, that Queen of Swords is very self-sufficient. So this is like a you, self type energy. Just make sure you're doing all these things for yourself, respecting yourself, loving yourself, having that unconditional love. But self-sufficient this month. The next card is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is like a communication card, and oftentimes it's a quick change. So one day somebody might not need something for you, and there may be a really prompt change and this person will need something for you. But again, communication-wise, do just make sure you're listening carefully here. And again, they may not ask you for help, but they may still need help. Then at the bottom here, we have the Knight of Pentacles. This is a very reliable, patient person. This is coming through as you. So the other meaning of the Page of Cups, aside from new love, is like being studious, working hard towards something. So you do have two kind of work hard, patient cards paired together here. So I would just kind of leave it at that message, work hard, patient. But of course, definitely listen as our note there at the end for you. Now at this point in time, we're going to use the Gypsy Witch Fortune Telling deck. We're going to do 3 yes or no questions. If you don't have questions in mind, you can pause the video and think of them really quick. But for question number 1, we have the 8 of Clubs. This is number 13 card. That's going to be a no. Question number 2 is the 4 of Clubs. This is number 4 card. That is also a no. And for question number 3, we have the 6 of Spades. This is number 29 card. That's also a no, Libra. So no, no, no across the board there. We're also going to pull a card from our Healing Stones deck. So this is a crystal to keep with you throughout the month of May. Keep it in your pocket, put it on your nightstand, put it on your desk at work. Your crystal this month is amber. Amber is good for creativity, warmth. This gives you like a childish like candor, happiness, and joy of life, which is always good. Last but not least, we're going to pull a card from our Healing Notes deck. So we're going to end on a healing message for you. The message says, the only courage that matters is the kind that gets you from one moment to the next. Thank you so much, Libra, for tuning in, watching, and listening. Please do like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how this video resonates with you. Again, when you subscribe, that helps me greatly, and you'll be notified when I post future videos. If you feel inclined, I did include my Venmo in the comments box if you'd like to make a donation. But thank you again, Libra, and have a wonderful May.